So ESPN decides to release their, top 100 players that they're predicting for the next season. And I seen it and I was like, it can't be that bad. But yes, this list is very bad. And there are some points I would like to tackle because it just doesn't make sense. It is not consistent. We'll start from the bottom and go to the top. Now on this list, they have Rudy Gobert 18 and Anthony Davis 20. Now, I don't understand how Rudy Gobert is above Anthony Davis. Now, if you want to say it's because of last season, how Anthony Davis wasn't playing that much, he was injured, then okay. But Anthony Davis is a two-way player. He's better offensively than Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is there for defense, but only on the inside. Rudy Gobert is horrible perimeter defense. AD, I can trust most perimeter. He's not the best perimeter defender, but he can play some perimeter defense, and he can do two-way things. Now, projecting next season, I still have Anthony Davis better than Rudy Gobert. I am an Anthony Davis hater. Anthony Day Davis is a thing. He gets injured a lot, but AD is better than Rudy Gobert. Anthony Davis is a top 15 player. I don't understand how he's better than Rudy Gobert. My next point is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is number 17 on this list, and I don't understand how he's number 17, considering how his team was so close to making the finals if he could just shoot threes. So, how is he number 17? How is he not a top 12 player, top 15 player, when he's the number one option on his team, and he consistently proves that he can lead that team to the promised land or farther? He can lead his team farther and almost to the promised land. So how is he number 17 on this list? People like Trae Young above him. You got Paul George above him when Paul George is the number one option on his team and Jimmy Butler plays better than him. So I don't understand how some of these players are higher than him. You have Cat and Trae Young above him when Jimmy Butler impacts more on more levels than both of them. Jimmy Butler plays defense and he is on offense. Cat and Trae Young are mostly offense. So how are they above him? Even if you're projecting next season, Jimmy Butler is still gonna have a season where he can make the team better. So how is he number 17 on this list? Now we're going to the biggest thing I have wrong with this list. Kawhi Leonard is number 12. How is Kawhi Leonard number 12? Now, the reason they have an article is because of the injuries come off of and the ACL tears come off of. But Kawhi Leonard is still going to come back and play at the same level he was in. I am very confident in that. I don't understand how Devin Booker and John Morant is above him when Devin Booker, when he's supposed to step up, doesn't do it. In the Western Conference Finals, they needed him. He didn't do it. In the finals last season, they needed him. He didn't do it. So how is he better than Kawhi Leonard? Then John Morant, who I think can prove eventually he can lead a team, but right now he needs to work on controlling himself. Because if he doesn't control himself, he's going to get injured more and more due to his athleticism. He's getting injured a lot with his ankles and his legs. So he needs to learn how to control himself some more. Plus, Kawhi Leonard is just better than John Morant on defense and offense. So I don't understand how Kawhi is not a top 10 player on this list. Even if you're projecting next season, Kawhi Leonard is a top 10 player. When KD was injured and he was coming back, people started him as a top 10 player, top 15 player. I don't understand how Devin Booker and John Morant is so high. I don't understand why they're so high on people's lists and why they're so high on people's eyes. When if you look at the team and look at how they play, I'm not saying they're not amazing players. They are. They're exceptional players, and they're going to be good later on in their careers. But they're not top 10 players right now. No, they're not. They're not up in that category yet. No. LeBron is number 6. Now, the reason why they gave him is because LeBron had a negative when he was on the floor last season. So even though he had a good offensive output, it's because of that. Do you not understand the Lakers team they had around LeBron James? LeBron had to play with Russell Westbrook, who doesn't fit with him. AD was gone, and the surrounding cast around him is not a good fit. So LeBron was going to have a negative net rating. Not saying it's because he's just bad or he can't lead a team with bad players. He can, but the people around him was not able to play with LeBron that well. So he was going to have a negative net rating. But even if he did have that, that's not a good reason why LeBron is in top 5. LeBron is top 5 on my list because it's LeBron James. And I understand that he has to take some step back because of how old he's getting. But even when he had to do that last season, he couldn't do it last season. He stepped up last season because he had to sit most of his supporting cast wasn't good and he had to carry the load since AD was injured. He had a negative net rating because his people around him isn't good. His supporting cast is still bad and was bad last season. That's what had negative net rating. That's not a good reason why he's not top 5. Now, my last point. Why is Stephen Curry number 5? Coming off a historic finals performance, he's number 5 on this list. Now, in the article, this is the reason why. It's because of his age. And they don't know if the Warriors can do it again next season. I guarantee you, not guarantee, but I wouldn't be surprised, I'm going to say that the Warriors can do it again, can repeat. Because the way the Warriors are built is they're built for now and the future, which is so smart by the GMs that they can build now and for the future. Steph Curry is still going to have an MVP caliber season next season. He isn't a player where he could just decrease after one season. No, Steph Curry is still going to be the same player he was last season. It's just Stephen Curry. Now, him being below Joel, Luka, just doesn't make sense because of the season he had last season. The reason why they have Joel at 4 is because of the season he had, but he had a dominant season. Yes, Joel Embiid is an MVP caliber player. He should be top 10. Not saying he should be there, but I don't understand how he had a dominant season. But I understand how he's better than Steph Curry. Joel Embiid is very injury prone. 1, 2. Steph Curry can lead a team farther than Joel Embiid. And in this list, everybody has led a team farther than Joel. Joel Embiid cannot lead a team that far because of his injury or because of how he plays sometimes. Now, Luka being top 5, I've seen that a lot. I'm not mad at it. I'm very high on Luka, but I don't know, just because of not how he plays, but just he doesn't have nothing to prove, if that makes sense. He doesn't have an MVP. He doesn't have nothing to prove it. Now, last season when he beat the Suns by almost 50 with that bad team, that meant something. He is a top 5, top 10 player. I'm not saying he's not. But him being above Curry is very concerning. I think Steph Curry is a top 3 player, even projected next season. And those are my takes. Now, remember, these takes that I'm giving in my opinions, these are my opinions. If you disagree, feel free to comment down below and tell me where I'm wrong. I am down to see why I'm wrong in other people's opinions. Remember, I am not forcing nobody's opinions on them. I'm just saying my opinion, so in my opinion, they're wrong. If your opinion, this list is right. If your opinion that I'm wrong, then say I'm wrong. Say why I'm wrong. Say why I'm incorrect. I just want to know that this is all my opinions and what I base is true. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and get ready for more content.